Should you switch all your streaming to Kick?
And what's going on with Brendan Frasers?
Let us tell you.
Welcome to the Nerd News Podcast, starring Tyson Cox and Tyler Waltz.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Nerd News. My name is Tyler Waltz, and with me, as always,
is Tyson Cox. How you doing, Tyler? How's your week been?
Pretty good, pretty good. I'm glad that we're back on track. We're still trying to figure out the studio, bit kind of weird formations.
Yeah, we're figuring it out slowly. Couple of scrappy brats as we are.
Yeah, we're getting a new camera soon, hopefully.
That way one of us looks better.
Yeah, right. I just think it's weird that my camera, which is the better one, covers you. I don't know how that worked out, but
you put it closer to you, which I thought was a dumb move. But
either way, it'll get figured out.
We can turn it into your shoulder cam. Just that sweet, sweet, supple hair.
That would be good. That would be good.
But you're also going on vacation here for a couple of weeks in a week.
Yeah, I'm going to be in Texas. I'm going to be vacationing about an hour-ish outside of Austin.
Yeah.
Which, if you say that, like I'm an hour outside of Indianapolis in Indiana.
You go, you're in Illinois?
Yeah, right. It's like, you're somewhere in Indiana.
Yeah.
Hour outside of Austin? You get a pretty good idea where you are in Texas. So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that.
Controversial statement. Texas, too big. I don't like it. Cut it into 4 states.
Yeah. I would feel the same about like California or like.
But I was in, if I'm driving, I can go like to the right a little bit and be in whatever state's touching California. In Texas, if I'm going from the middle of Texas, I can drive all day and be in Texas.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, if you start at the top of Indiana and you go to the bottom of Indiana,
it's fair.
Right?
Okay.
So it's really about perspective.
All right.
Right? Big Texas defender.
I know, it's a little weird. Hey, so how long did you live in Texas, Tyler?
Never been.
You've never been, and you're this protective.
Yeah.
It's just too big.
With that, I think we're going to get into the news. The first thing that we're going to be talking about is Kick, which is a very controversial streaming service right now.
And it's stronger than Punch.
It is. It is. Most of the time, right?
A good one, yeah.
Yeah. How much do you know about Kick, or really streaming in general?
I know that the 2 major platforms are, Twitch and YouTube?
Yeah, Twitch and YouTube.
And everyone's trying to get on it. Like, there's Facebook Live, which is another more official streaming. But then you get to things like TikTok and Instagram where you can go live.
Yeah.
But that doesn't feel like a stream.
Yeah. From the easiest way that I can break it down is that Twitch was really like first in, best dressed. So they have the audience.
Yeah.
If people are like, I just kind of want to watch a stream today, they're going to look for somebody on Twitch. YouTube has the audience when it comes to publishing videos, but they're kind of just a weird second place to Twitch.
What if I wanted to get weird racist memes? Would that be Facebook?
That would be Kick.
Kick.
Which is
no.
what we're going to be talking about. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So I want to preface this. With saying I am always a big fan of alternative technology. Right? It would be awful if Facebook was the only social media that existed, right? Not saying Twitter is much better, right? But there should be alternatives, right? Rumble was the competitor to YouTube that a bunch of people split off.
Yeah.
They're kind of just a weird conservative hub right now that's trying to give incentives to people that have been disenfranchised and stuff from YouTube.
Well, then there's also Hive and Mammoth for Twitter. Like there's all kinds of ones, and they never seem to stick as well.
Yeah, never. Because everybody associates Rumble with conservatives, because a bunch of conservatives that have been kicked off YouTube go to Rumble. I can't remember. I think Mammoth was the one that liberal,
yeah. And then Hive was just a generic one
that just didn't quite.
You couldn't upload a picture.
Yeah,
I was like, all right, maybe
it's always a failure to launch almost every time. But Minds is an alternative social media that I'm a big fan of. I like it a lot. I have one, but I don't post or anything. It's
Minds?
More Minds. Have you never heard of Minds?
Mind, M-I-N?
M-I-N-D-S.
Okay,
Minds.
no, I haven't heard of it.
Minds is where a lot of people that are, what's a good way to put it? Like intellectual dark web
Okay.
Have you heard that term that kind of fits in like the...
It feels like a guy I'd run into at a party and not want to talk to.
It kind of is.
I'm part of the intellectual dark web.
It's a lot of like your Snowdens and your Neil deGrasse Tysons, and it's a lot of your intellectuals that are more freedom of speech oriented.
Okay.
That use minds for just information.
So
Daryl something, the guy that converted like thousands and thousands of KKK members, uses it.
Oh yeah.
It's very much like you go there for more information instead of just poop tweet or whatever, you know.
Oh, okay. So it sounds helpful and good?
It's more helpful and good, yes.
For now.
For now, but it's not very popular.
We let the cat out the bag. All of our listeners are going to tell everybody.
Yeah. It's an alternative. They call it an alternative primarily to Twitter. It just doesn't really have that popularity. Mm-hmm. So it's just this weird niche bubble that a lot of people are in.
Yeah.
It's fine. I wish it was more popular, but you're not going to get people away from Twitter.
You don't want it to be more popular.
Correct.
Like I've made this joke. I don't know if it's as funny as I think it is, but it's like, as a nerd, you always want something to get so popular, it gets a porno made of it, but not so popular that it gets a movie made to ruin it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So Kick is the new kid on the block when it comes to alternative tech.
Okay.
It is a direct pushback and fight against Twitch.
Okay.
It started with he was a big streamer, I think top 5, top 10 streamer on Twitch called Trainwrecks.
Okay.
Who was...
It's got a good name.
Yeah. I don't personally know his content super well. I didn't really know who he was because I don't really keep up on Twitch streamers.
Yeah.
Until I figured out Kick, because we're looking into some kind of streaming for the future. So he had this huge post that basically broke down why Twitch is bad and why he is going to lead the push and create. It was like co-created and helped with Kick.
Yeah.
The long story short, gambling, actually.
Okay. I don't agree that I can't gamble your money.
It's pretty crazy because a lot of it is crypto. Crypto gambling offshore sites.
Okay.
The top 10 streamers on Kick right now, all but one are gambling.
And the other one is boobs.
No, the other one is like a conservative talk kind of thing.
Ah, okay.
But it's not really conservative. It's like that Tate.
No.
The Andrew Tate style, which the new platforms are always going to have those people because they're not promoted on the other sites, which I get it. Do I like it? Not necessarily, no.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's where they all start, right?
Side note, I saw a video of a kid talking to a teacher.
Yeah,
do you know this video? He's and I feel bad. I feel bad for the kid.
The alpha.
I am the Sigma.
Yeah.
I teach Sigma does not listen to teacher.
Yeah. Now, clearly there was something wrong with that kid.
Yeah.
He wasn't quite on
But
that.
it's not good that amount of messages hitting that amount of people.
But the thing is like it's so incredibly toxic.
Yeah.
It's so incredibly toxic. But it's not just that though, because there's a bunch of kids, like I've seen videos on like Instagram and stuff where kids have just like given up because they're like, I shouldn't need to do anything or this or that to live, and it's just this depressive hole of like, if the government gave me stuff, then I wouldn't need to go to my 9 to 5 and be depressed. It's like, you need something to do, man. Like, you can't just give up. This is wild. The internet is horrible for children.
It's not good.
Like, when I have kids, they're not going to get on the internet until they're like 42. Like, I was like,
you're gonna have the weird kids that are just normal.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Hey, how you doing today? Kick squeeg, bro. You're like, what?
I don't know what that means.
All right. Have a good kick squeeg.
Yeah. So Trainwrecks was the guy that really kicked off Kick. Like that was his big thing, was I am going to Kick. They're good, putting that in quotations because there's a lot of bad.
They're good because it aligns with my beliefs.
They're good is that their terms of service is straightforward, which is a big complaint on Twitch. A lot of people say what you want. A lot of favoritism on Twitch, especially towards female streamers.
Well, we've talked about that. Other people have gotten bans for, like, someone swore and got a long ban versus someone being naked.
Literally having sex.
There it is.
One lady literally had sex on stream.
Shot of pornography.
Yes. And was banned for 1 week. Yet other streamers did like the hot tub streams and stuff like that and got banned for way longer. Or certain male creators talked about some controversial stuff and have been permanently banned. I think the most popular person that's been permanently banned that there's a lot of wishy-washiness about is Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah.
because there's still a lot of weird stuff about that just isn't known. It's just not known. So the good side of Kick, putting that big grain of salt, is it's revenue share. Twitch is 50-50. If you get a sub on Twitch, which is $5, you are getting $2.50 of it.
And then tax.
Correct. YouTube is 70-30.
Okay.
So that's better, which is why a lot of people are saying fight back against Twitch by going to YouTube. Kick has announced 95-5.
But I mean, that's for now.
That's for now. That's exactly what I wanted to talk about, because they're trying to get people over there. So they're going to entice you with 95% of your revenue goes to you.
Yeah.
But it's not sustainable. It's clearly not sustainable.
I mean, if you had a ton of people and you could theoretically live off the 5% of that, you know what I mean? Like, it could happen.
It's hosting space that's going to catch up with them.
Oh,
Because
right.
they have to pay for servers to host the video to be able to store the data.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's 95.5 for now because they are partnered with Amazon, which is who uses Twitch as well for their storage and stuff. But Twitch's servers, way more. There's way more of them because there's way more people doing it.
Yeah.
So it's only a matter of time before they have to announce it's 90-10. It's going to be 85-15.
Yeah.
It's going to be 80-20. It's going to happen because Twitch started at 70-30. Now we're at 50-50. So it's going to happen if they grow. If they grow.
Yeah, but I think the 70-30 on Twitch is like, I think there is some greed getting into that.
50-50 on Twitch.
50, sorry, from 70-30 to 50-50.
Yes, I agree. I think Twitch, I do think people should switch away from Twitch. I just don't think Kick is where people should go.
Okay.
It feels like a lot of eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
So 95.5. There's also...
Well, hang on. Or with, you said Amazon is with Kick, right? There's a chance that it's going to get just subsumed by Amazon and then it gets shifted into a more of a...
I just meant for server use. They're not partnered as in like Amazon is an owner. They literally just pay for server space on Amazon.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, then let me say that again. But if it goes well, then it could.
Could, yeah. Because Amazon owns Twitch. I don't think a lot of people know that.
Yeah.
Amazon is the primary owner of Twitch. That's when it got a lot more corporate 50-50 stuff like that. Of course, always. So those are really the only two big highlights is 95-5 split and the more open terms of service or more blatant. Like Twitch, if you read the terms of service, it's like pages and pages and pages and nobody's going to read it all. Kick has a very straightforward, like don't do blank, 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 and you're good. It's very straightforward. I read it. Like it's so straightforward.
All right.
Now, that being said, the bad. A lot. A lot.
No.
Because of that, it has encouraged a lot of extremism in the fact that people that can't say what they want on Twitch or YouTube are going to Kick. Obviously. That's how it always happens.
Yeah.
It's annoying, but if you're going to grow, the people that are there first are going to be the ones that help grow it.
Yeah.
The question is are the incentives over there good enough to take away from Twitch? There have been a lot of rumored streamers that are going to Kick to try and take their audiences over. So there's like this pseudo infighting on whether to go to YouTube or Kick. And it's pretty split 50-50. Here are my red flags that a lot of people aren't talking about. Here are the red flags that a lot of people aren't talking about that should be talked about, and please do your research. Kick, sorry, I'm getting mixed up in my head. Stake is a company that primarily runs most of the offshore crypto gambling that has been getting Twitch in a lot of hot water because you're gambling to basically child audiences. You're creating a problem with children in gambling.
Loot boxes, baby.
Exactly.
Well, I've seen that on my TikTok. You'll swipe through and every now and again I'll go to a live, and one of them is people just doing the Dave and Buster games.
Yeah.
Where they're dropping quarters in there because it is exciting for you to watch. Like, who is it going to do? What,
Yeah.
It's not good.
So exploitive to children.
Yeah.
Because kids can't gamble, but they can give their streamer $10 to gamble.
Which is, then you can't split the money, so they just, it's so wild.
Yeah,
That's not good.
It's awful. It's awful. So Steak is not, I want to make that very clear, is not an investor in Kick. But 3 of the biggest owners in Steak are investors in Kick. Mm-hmm. Take that as you will. And their primary stream are gambling streams. So my theory is that the biggest reason that they can do this 95-5 split is because of how much they are helping Steak.
Yeah.
Because the creators that are coming over are gambling streamers. If Kick doesn't quite make it, if it piddles out in a year or two, the moment that Steak starts losing money from these streams, Kick is over.
Yeah.
It's either completely done, dead in the water, or it's going to be a 50-50 split. Because right now, the only people that are making money over there are people that are leaving Twitch and YouTube with dedicated audiences. If you're just a Joe Schmo that's like, you know what, I want to play Stardew Valley. I'm going to hop on Kick and try and build an audience. It's not there. Because the people that are on Kick brought their audiences over. They're not looking for new stuff to watch. You know?
I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, you could stream in the off times, but...
You could try.
Yeah.
But Twitch is where people get discovered. It has the highest discoverability. Mm-hmm. So if you're trying to build an audience, I still think Twitch might be your best bet just because of people that are there.
Yeah.
But nobody is just casually browsing Kick. It is...
I don't know.
Yet. Which is true. You're gambling. It's literally going on Kick is gambling because you're risking that platform being able to survive.
Yeah, and you're backed by Steak.
Big
meat out here.
I wouldn't hinge my bets on gambling being able to keep that thing alive.
Yeah.
I think your best bet is to go to YouTube where it's a 70-30. It's got the second most amount of discoverability, and YouTube already hosts videos. You can grow also by helping yourself in the algorithm by doing a live stream, archiving it, publishing it as a video, so then you can get back watches.
Yeah.
So I think YouTube's your best bet. One last note. Aiden Ross is the biggest Twitch streamer right now, and he's averaging about 60,000 people a stream. He is a gambler that just recently he is one of the best representatives of what an Andrew Tate streamer is. Like, he is the epitome, the embodiment of the Andrew Tate style of movement.
Okay. Can you explain that a bit more?
Yeah, it's basically like men should be men, and and if I had blue hair, then I wouldn't have got banned from Twitch. Definitely isn't because I had a deal with Twitch that said you can't cross promote, and then you were talking about how much better Kick was.
Oh, so you said that guy's on
Kick.
I thought you said Twitch. Sorry,
he had a deal with Twitch.
No, okay. I thought up top you said he was on.
Oh,
that's my mistake.
My apologies.
So yeah, just to be clear, he was on Kick.
He's on Kick.
Okay.
He's the biggest Kick streamer right now. If I said Twitch, I do apologize. He's the biggest Kick streamer, and he's talking about, like, if I had blue hair, I bet I wouldn't have been kicked off Twitch, and the whole, like, men should work out and this and that, and it's just all of the... He literally gambles and recites Andrew Tate. That's what he does.
I love that those kind of dudes are just describing dudes they want to date.
Yeah. Well,
I like a buff beat boy. He's got to be ripped.
Man,
he needs to not respect women because he loves me so much.
Yeah. It's so true. And it's wild how exploitive it is. Because here's the thing about that style. Look, at the end of the day, if somebody is on a stream and they're like, look, you need to even if they use the language, like, you need to man up, get better, go to the gym, improve yourself, make your life better. I agree 100% with all that stuff.
But it's how you're saying it.
It's the stuff right after that. It's like, and disrespect women. It's like, damn it. Oh, what? Yeah. That disconnect is wild. And here's the thing about the people that latch onto those audiences. They exploit vulnerable people that need to hear that to be okay, and they don't want them to get better, because as soon as they do, they lose that audience because they need to hear it. So it's just perpetuating itself in this hole of disgusting bullshit.
Yeah, it's been around forever. Like, there was, I remember when I was in high school, they had The Game by Neil, something like that. He was the pickup artist guy.
Oh yeah, that was awful.
And all that is, and it was wild because all it was, do you want to talk to women? Be confident and then go talk to them.
And disrespect them horribly.
And then it was like, oh, no.
Yeah.
And then when you're talking to them, don't listen to what they're saying.
It's crazy.
If they got big teeth, be like, you look like Bugs Bunny.
It's insane.
Cute. You're like, what? It's not. Like, you can tell, like, because I remember my brother bought the books. I read the first chapter. No. And it started out with, and it worked. I read this, and it was like a foreword or whatever. Mm-hmm. Read it worked so well. This most beautiful woman I've ever seen was like, come back to my bedroom. And I was like, yeah. And then I got there, and she took her shoes off, and her feet stank so much I had to leave. That's legitimately the first thing. And first of all, if you were that desperate and the girl had stinky toes,
you don't care.
You're like, I'll put them in my mouth.
Yeah,
I'm just so happy to be here right now.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, it really is. So Kick is a thing to watch out for.
I wouldn't trust it. If I was a streamer and I was like, hey, I'm starting to build an audience, should I go for the revenue? It's a short-term gain for something that
big risk.
I don't think it's going to pan out.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be around for a year or two. They put way too many eggs in the gambling basket, and as soon as stake starts losing money or it doesn't take off, it is over.
Yeah, and consistency is super important for stuff like this because, like, for a while, my personal page was doing bonuses, making money on that. Now that it's gone, I'm kind of pissed off about it.
Yeah.
Because that was nice.
Yeah.
So, like, YouTube being around for this long, not a bad call. So I think I'm probably going to do my personal streaming on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think YouTube is the best bet, especially if you are pushing back against the Twitch changes, which are upsetting. I think too many people are way too quick to categorize it as like, oh, you don't like Twitch, and it's just because Twitch is more liberal, which is where it gets a lot of its flack from. It's like, oh, somebody can say one thing, and then you say this, and you're banned, freedom of speech. It is a private company. I might not like it.
Yeah.
You can get away with a little bit more stuff on YouTube if that's your angle, but also money.
Yeah. But I think that's going to actually, we're going to take a little bit of a break, and we'll be back in just a minute. But speaking of things to monetize and whatnot, we do have a Patreon. If you guys just like us, subscribe. It helps us grow and do things. We do a lot of cool stuff. The more we grow, the more we can do, the more content for you.
Yeah, and we're not doing it to like have exclusive content on. You're going to get early access to content here coming soon with our live shows and stuff like that. And it's really just if you like us, you want to support us, you want to see us do more things.
Yeah. So, see you in a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Nerd News. It is good to be here. I am Tyson Cox, and with me is
Tyler Waltz.
And we're talking about old Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, bit of a
Renaissance.
Yeah, Renaissance. It's great to see him back.
It's
weird the reception to him coming back.
It is and it isn't. And that's kind of what I want to talk about during this. So what is your experience with Brendan Fraser? You're a bit younger than I am.
Yeah, so I saw The Mummy. Loved The Mummy. And I also saw George of the Jungle when I was a little kid. Loved that movie. Outside of that, I don't really know a ton. I know he disappeared for a long time.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk about that here in a bit, kind of give you everyone the rundown. Yeah. But yeah, he disappeared for a little while, and then what? Doom Patrol was kind of your next.
Yeah, Doom Patrol was the next thing I saw him in.
Cool. Yeah, he's had a very interesting career, and so we're just going to give a bit of a rundown of old Brenny F. Because I'm a big fan. I grew up watching a lot of his stuff. Yeah. The Mummy, Encino Man was a classic to me. Airheads, but we'll get to all that in a second. So he started out. He grew up and moved to New York to try acting, and then went to LA and stayed there. Cool. 91, he gets his first part in Dogfight. A little bit part, but everyone seems to like him, and he immediately starts, making friends and moving on up. And in 92, he gets in Encino Man, which was a box office. Not good. Okay. It was fine, but it did well on the VHS.
Okay, cool.
And so he goes to a party, and he meets his wife, and he gets married to Anthem Smith. This is all cherry.
I just realized I need to correct a previous statement of mine.
Okay.
I also saw him in about 3 episodes of Scrubs.
He was in Scrubs?
He was in Scrubs. He's the friend that dies of cancer.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's very sad.
Super sad.
Glad you really wedged that in there.
I really wanted to bring that up.
Yeah. I was like, hey, this is the happy part. Oh, yeah, by the way, he plays the nicest man on earth.
Yeah. So back to his wife. Yeah.
So he gets meets Anthem Smith at a party at Winona Ryder's place. Like it's pretty. And he's on the upswing. He's doing phenomenal. He's doing really, really well. And then in '97, he gets his big breakout role, which was George of the Jungle.
Yeah. Great movie. I don't give a crap what anybody says. I
Yeah.
love that movie.
Oh, especially for the time, it was fantastic. And he was ripped, he was handsome, he was funny, and that kind of all led into. He had a handful of movies between then that didn't do as well.
Okay.
Which is like Airheads, but like I read the list and like the way it was being phrased was like these failures, these flops. I'm like, no, these are great movies.
It's weird how much emphasis goes into box office because once it's labeled a box office flop, most of the time it is just at that point considered a failure. Yeah. DVD sales aren't really a thing anymore.
No, streaming.
Streaming is like the new DVD sales.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how much money they get for streaming on a certain platform. But it is interesting to think of box office flop because I think the most notorious, and we've brought it up before, is The Room, where has made so much money for being bad because of everything after the theater release.
Thinking the theater release was, oh, man, absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Man. Sorry, it was like going back to Nam for a second. But yeah, so he had a few of these movies that didn't do phenomenal, but he gets his big break. George of the Jungle, great. And then in 99, he does The Mummy. Yeah. Which a lot of people don't realize this, he's kind of the modern example of what an action star is. Yeah. In the 80s, it was big beefcakes like, Stallone and Schwarzenegger. And then it shifted away from that, and it was kind of weird for a little while. And then The Mummy comes out, and we got the smooth talking, handsome, smart, kind of like everyone can realistically be like, if I did go to the gym for like a year, I could look like that.
Yeah. To me, he was like an alternative Harrison Ford type. Like Indiana Jones.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how he came off to me when I saw it.
Is it because he had 1930s style of clothing on?
Yeah, and was tomb diving and but also The Mummy is still to this day many people's favorite movie.
It's
because there's 3 of them.
3 Mummy Returns, and then Mummy with the Scorpion King,
something like that,
which had the worst CGI.
yeah, it did.
It was like they took like
it's so bad it's still a meme today. It's like,
But so he has all these things on the upswing, and during this whole thing, he's doing his own stunts. He's being very affable. He's very genial. He's like, if you need like a dogfight, he was doing an interview about that, and he was saying that like he's like, I think I bruised a rib, but I was so excited to be there. I was like, I'll do it again. You want me to do it again? I'll do it. I'll break it if you need. You know what I mean? Like he was just that gung ho and that enjoyable and loved it so much. Yeah, which kind of makes the next chunk of this pretty sad. Because after 99, he is signed on for the sequel to The Mummy and doing all these things, but he's also having to get like a knee replacement, partial knee replacement. He's getting medical treatment. He's in and out of hospitals. And then in 2003, he gets sexually assaulted by Philip Burke, who is the head of the Hollywood Foreign Press. Yeah, which will. This
is shocking to me because I've never really heard of this being a problem in Hollywood.
I know, strange, right?
It's very rare that this kind of stuff happens to anybody. In Hollywood.
Well, and it's really upsetting on the other end too, because I can't imagine what he was going through on the back end of it, because he's a dude in the Hollywood, and it was 2003. Like it was not a very accepting.
You also said the Hollywood.
Yeah, he was in the Hollywood.
The Facebook.
Yeah. I'm getting old.
Yeah.
But this happened with Terry Crews as well, where it's
completely different. It's a 180-degree turn from what we've experienced recently with why can't I remember his name? The movie director that everybody loved and thanked in all the speeches, but was a monster.
You're talking about Weinstein?
Yes, Weinstein.
Producer.
Yeah. Oh, producer. But it's like this has been going on for a long time, and it's a 180-degree turn from where we are now. It's insane how far we've come in 20 years.
Which, I mean, it's good that we're getting it because there is power in bringing things up, and it shuts out the
monsters. Yeah.
But so it was a thing that kills me is because he wanted to get an apology. He was like, "Hey, something you got to do," and they were just like, "Nah." And make it worse, the guy that did it was like, "It was just a pinch on the butt cheek. You should have took it as a joke." You're like, "No, really, dude?" But then even if it was a pinch on the butt, he can't talk about it.
Right.
He can't complain about it.
Right. Because then you lose work.
He did. He's like, well, I pushed back, and then all of a sudden I wasn't invited to the Golden Globes anymore. I wasn't getting calls for work anymore. Yep. And so he starts to get booked less and less, and he went from being a box office megastar into obscurity, and it's taking its toll on him. And in 2007, him and his wife separate, and they have 3 children. Mm-hmm. And so now he's on a career decline. He is selling his home to get a more modest means. Like, he's doing all these really good dude things to make sure he can raise his kids right, and all this, that, and the other. And he's taken smaller and smaller roles. And there was an interview in 2013, I think, with GQ. No, sorry, 2003 interview where he's talking about he's a supporting character in a show called The Affair.
Okay.
And he's like starts in the 3rd season. So he's just doing this interview, and he's like emotionally unwell. Like, you can see his eyes are shrink wrapped in tears, and he's having trouble talking. Mm-hmm. And he gets memed for it. And then later in another interview, and it's kind of like the big one where it like comes out about the Phil Burke thing and all this. He's like, "Oh, I buried my mom 3 days before that interview." Mm-hmm. And he was just sitting there thinking, he's like, "I've buried my mom. I've gone through all this. I'm now," it's just all this retrospective stuff where he's like, "Yeah, I was in mourning." And we, the internet, were just like, "Sad man with tears.
Yeah.
Get him."
That is the savagery of memes, though.
It is.
It could be the worst day of your life.
But if you look funny eating a hot dog sad.
Yep. Yeah. They'll edit a fart over it, and then it's eternal. It's it's awful.
But here's where we start to take the swing. He does some voice acting work in Doom Patrol. He's been working the whole time. He was in Scrubs for a little bit.
It's not even voice acting. He shows up.
Oh, he shows up?
Yeah, in the because he was like a NASCAR driver or a race car driver.
Right. Sorry.
So there's prequel scenes where it's him building up to what he become.
Yeah.
So I loved him in Doom Patrol. He's my favorite character.
He's
in Doom
great.
Patrol.
He's very good.
Yeah.
So then he goes Doom Patrol, and he's starting to get more and more roles now. And then to cap it all off, The Whale comes out, and it feels like he's back, baby.
Have you seen it?
No.
Why?
I want to, but I also don't have a whole day to cry.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm just gonna be honest. Is it the marvelous 20-minute standing ovation masterpiece that they've hyped it up? I don't think so. Is it a very sad movie that will get you to think that is a well put together art piece? Absolutely.
Okay.
I feel like I went into it with such high expectations from what everybody was saying that for me it was like, okay,
yeah,
they should have toned it down.
Well, I mean, they're trying to sell an Oscar win,
Yes,
but also
it was a very good movie.
You were probably like, no clowns showed up to murder anybody, so
no
dinosaurs. 9 out of 10.
It's a beautiful movie. But they shouldn't have come out with the whole, there was a 30-minute standing ovation in this theater.
It was 10 seconds ago.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Regardless, the hype around it blew it a bit out of proportion. Is it a beautiful movie? 100%.
But you also have to think about that's Hollywood seeing somebody that they've worked with and respected go through all these trials and tribulations, and then getting to come back and getting the biggest win in the 100%. Field. I think that is a lot of the ovation.
Yes. Yeah.
But, and then he wins The Whale. But I think it's really interesting because he cares so much, because I watched him in an interview for Batgirl where he plays Firefly, which I thought he was Commissioner Gordon. I got my information wrong.
Okay.
But he plays a villain named Firefly. And the guy was like, "Batgirl, what's going on with that? Like, why did that get canceled? Was it any good?" And he was like, "It was great. It was fantastic." And but you could tell he just loved the project so much. He goes, "I got to play this guy." And here's the character, he's an ex-war, hero. And he comes back and he gets shunned by the city. So of course he's angry, and he takes all this knowledge. I'm like, oh, fuck, this is deeper than I thought.
Yeah.
Like he cares so much. So
which that made me want to watch Batgirl, but literally 95% of the other information I've got about Batgirl was that it was a nightmare.
Yeah. Was Michael Keaton in it though? As old? Yeah.
I think he was supposed to show up.
Michael Keaton was supposed to be in it. So.
Yeah. But now Michael Keaton's in the new Flash movie,
which is
great because everybody loves that non-controversial actor.
Well, what I hate is they finally make a good, because everyone's like, oh, it's actually a really good movie. And they had to have dipshit McGee in it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna watch it now.
Formerly known as Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that whole saga with them is wild. is absolutely wild. But we're not here to talk about that.
No, we're here to talk
Brendan
about
Fraser.
Baby Boy.
Yeah.
So I just think it's really good. We made a video about the whale early on, and it was really weird because a lot of people were like, just anytime Brendan Fraser got brought up for years, they'd be like, "Where'd he go? What's he been doing now?" And then he comes out in the whale, and people are like, "He's unhealthy," and that is. It is pictures of him from the whale.
Yeah. I also don't think people realized he was in a fat suit.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Yeah.
How he actually looks is his scenes in Doom Patrol, which he did get out of shape. He's now a bigger dude.
But
he's not the whale size.
Yeah.
Though.
He's just.
I mean, he might be same size, if not a little bit bigger than me. He's
also
tall as shit.
He's been Americanized.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's the thing that, that was the thing that upset me in the people's comments, because he does look like the guy from Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
And people, some idiots on the internet were like, I can't believe he got 600. He didn't.
He did.
He didn't. They can CGI a dinosaur. They can hefty up a boy. But he actually looks like Doom Patrol, and people still were talking shit about that. Where you're like, he used to be a model. He used to be a model 20 years ago.
Exactly. The joke is that he went from George of the Jungle to what he is now.
He went from
after knee replacements,
spinal fusions. His spine is fused in 2 places.
Yeah.
And he went through a divorce, and he was molested. I'm glad you're on your feet, dude.
Yeah, right. But
and with a good mood. Daddy with a fucking good mood.
Yeah.
Being a good dad. There's an interview with his kids on the red carpet, and they're like, "Hey, does your dad ever do dad jokes?" And they're like, "Oh."
Yeah. I think when it comes to good guys in Hollywood, the market is really captured by him and Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Those seem to be the two darlings right now in Hollywood.
Yeah. So it's going to be a real shame when we find out they have a murder cult.
Yeah, right.
But
together, which was the wild part.
Yeah,
I mean, just be one of them.
Yeah. Well, then it's at the end. I can't wait for the end where they fight to the death.
Right. Yeah.
I read the charter. It's pretty good. And speaking of reading charters, I think we're going to charter on out of here. Wow. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Make sure to check out our Facebook. Subscribe. If you had a good time, let us know. Leave a review. Anything you feel like doing.
Yeah. Also, just as another side note, we have released a new weekly series for reviews. The first one was Resident Evil 4. The next one, I believe, is either going to be the Dungeons & Dragons movie or the Mario movie, because I just saw that recently. So stay tuned for our new review series. Check that out. Let us know what you want us to review, because we're trying to make this content as good as possible.
Thank you so much for checking out Nerd News. We don't have advertising, so you are the advertising. Now, if you liked it, go ahead and tell a friend, comment, share, subscribe, or even leave a review on Apple. Every little bit helps. It's insane. You guys have no idea how much your support means to us. And if you want to do a little bit more, we have launched our Patreon. So if you would support us financially, go check out our Patreon. All our content is free, but we do have rewards at every tier. So I just want to say thank you all again, and we'll see you next time.